Hey, I just felt like talking about some music, talking about some albums that I think are perfect, as in no skippable tracks, no tracks where I'm just like, nah, I don't want to listen to that one, skip it. Um, and So I'm just randomly doing this. I have not written anything down. I have not prepared this at all. So, snafu. Uh, so And ironically, I haven't actually listened to any of these albums recently because my taste and my music listening habits have changed. So I just haven't listened to these. But these are all albums that I used to really enjoy, um, and used to consider very solid albums. So let me get into it. And the first three albums on this list that I don't have are all by the same band. That band being Black Sabbath, and it happens to be their first three albums. Their self-titled album, Black Sabbath, Paranoid, and Master of Reality. Yeah. They're just, you have on their self-titled album, you have the title track, you have The Wizard, you have, Behind the Wall of Sleep, NIB, Wicked Woman, Warning. I mean, it's all good stuff, man. Then Paranoid, you have uh, War Pigs, great song. Then, of course, Paranoid, great song. Then Planet Caravan, Iron Man. Some people don't care for Planet Caravan. I like it. Um, then, let's see. Uh, Electric Funeral, awesome. Hand of Doom, awesome. The then What was the next track? Rat Salad and Fairies Wear Boots. Now, when I first got that album and listened to it, I kind of dismissed Fairies Wear Boots, but I got to like it a lot, and so the whole album became an album that I just liked from start to finish. And then with Master of Reality, again, great song. Starts with a love song to Marijuana, Sweet Leaf. Um, you have After Forever. You have Children of the Grave. You have um, Lord of this World, Solitude, and of course closing out with the awesome Into the Void. And you have a couple of instrumentals in there, which are kind of nice little segues into the next song. So sometimes instrumentals on rock albums, metal albums are kind of skippable tracks, but these kind of blend nicely in. So there's that. There's those three. Then the next one, I'm gonna say Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. Now, not every song on this album is brilliant. Uh, but Thought I heard some. There's a couple songs in there that are just okay. I mean, um, like Anything Goes, Think About You. I mean, they're all right, but um, good enough to not skip. And then, of course, you got Welcome to the Jungle. The Out to Get Me, Night Train, uh, It's So Easy, Dr. Brownstone, Welcome, Paradise City, My Michelle, uh, Sweet Child of Mine, one of my favorite songs of all time. Um, and finishing out with Rocket Queen. So it's a lot of really good songs, a couple mediocre ones, but still something you can just put on, hit play, and just let it run through. Next on the list, what am I gonna say here? Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. I'm not a big Bruce Springsteen fan, actually. Born in the USA is the only. By the way, let me just say, I'm I don't have a whole heck of a lot of knowledge of rock albums. I never could afford to really buy a whole heck of a lot of them. Um, and some of them were, you know, greatest hits albums, which don't count for this video. So, so if this seems like kind of a list made up by someone who doesn't know a lot, it is. So, anyway, uh, the only album by Springsteen I ever owned was Born in the USA, and by itself, it does kind of sound like a greatest hits album. Got a lot of singles on the songs on there that were singles that were very successful. Um, but again, it's very solid. I'm from the title track to like I said, I haven't listened to it in a while. What songs were on there? Working on the Highway, I'm on Fire. My favorite on there is Downbound Train. Then there's Glory Days. I forget what else. But it's a solid album. Then there's, let's see, what next? Actually, I think I'm gonna throw on a couple Metallica albums on here. Yeah, their first album and their third album. Their first album, Kill 'Em All. It's a little rough. You know, it's not the most polished album, but it's still classic thrash metal. And if what you're looking for is just get it done thrash metal, it does it. And even the let's see, I think it has Pulling Teeth Anesthesia. It has a little instrumental in there, but it goes by real fast. So and the rest of the album is just rocking, just going. So yeah, solid album if you like that sort of sound. And then of course Master of Puppets. It's on pretty much every list of greatest metal albums of all time. With starting out with Battery. I was just thinking about that the other day. And of course the great title track, Master of Puppets, The Thing That Should Not Be, Welcome Home Sanitarium, Disposable Heroes, the track which actually is what the cover art references. Leopard Messiah, the instrumental Orion, and finishing out with Damage Incorporated. Good stuff. And of course, with Disposable Heroes, it's kind of interesting because on the first 4 albums, Metallica had a war song in each one. Kill 'Em All had No Remorse. Ride the Lightning had For Whom the Bell Tolls. Master of Puppets, of course, had Disposable Heroes, and And Justice for All had One. And that was it. That was the last song about war that they did, to my knowledge. Kind of interesting. They're good songs, but it's kind of interesting that they just kind of left that theme behind. And with Master of Puppets, of course, that's about anything that controls your life. Specifically, it's supposed to be about cocaine. I didn't get that because I didn't know anything about cocaine at the time. Still don't really know much. The whole chop your breakfast on a mirror didn't make any sense to me. I thought, but you can really interpret it to be anything that's controlling you, anything that's keeping you from living. And I interpreted that as fear. Fear has always been a big part of my life, and of course, it has that line: veins that pump with fear, sucking darkness clear, leading on your death's construction. That that spoke to me, and the rest of the song just worked very well around all that. Because fear is a very powerful and potentially debilitating thing. And he who controls the fears of others verily is the Master of Puppets. But yeah, great album. What next? Let's do Wild Wild West. Not the soundtrack to the Will Smith movie, but the album by the Escape Club. I'm sure you're familiar with the that 80s song. um, um, Wild Wild West by the Escape Club. Um, Living in the Wild Wild West. Yeah, and I found the album used, and I got it for the title track. I put it in and was very pleasantly surprised to find that the whole album is good. I went to the next track, Jealousy. I'm like, wow, catchy track. I like this. And then moving on, Shake for the Chic. Yeah, I like this. And it kept going. And then my favorite song on there is Goodbye Billy Ray. Not Billy Ray, Joey Ray. Goodbye Joey Ray. Um, and it finishes out with Working for the Fat Man. But yeah, good album. Let's see, what's next? I'm going Fallen by Evanescence, their freshman album. Very popular at the time, and deservedly so. 11 good tracks. Yeah, listen to all of them. I mean, just start at the beginning, go off. You know, you have Going Under, Bring Me to Life, of course, the first single. Everybody's Fool, My Immortal, Haunted, Tourniquet, Imaginary, Taking Over Me. Uh, um, what's the name of the next one? Um, Holding My Last, Saving My Last Breath, I guess, is it? And then the last track, Whispers. Yeah, all good stuff. Next, Vinland Saga by Leaves' Eyes. It was their second studio album, full-length studio album. And it's basically about Vikings going off to find new land and the women they leave behind. And it's Nordic symphonic metal with female-led vocals as well as female-led lyrics, and it's really good. You have the departing of the men at the beginning. You have the second song is Farewell Proud Men. Still my favorite song on the album. Then you have Elegy, you have Misery, you have the woman thinking about what the men might be going through and having remembrances and stuff, and you have the song The Morning Tree, which is again about the woman thinking about the man who's not there. I think it can be kind of interpreted a couple different ways. Whether he's not there because he's out on a journey or he's not there because he's dead. But either way, he's not there. She's thinking about him, and she's pregnant. And it's a very heartfelt, very nice song. And the whole album, and you have the song Newfoundland, and then you have the no, like I said, it's been a while. Which song comes next? I think Twilight Sun, and then the last song is Ankomst, which means arrival. So yeah, it's still my favorite Leaves' Eyes album, followed probably by Dead in second place. Then let's see here. Dark Passion Play by Nightwish. Nightwish used to be my favorite. Well, Metallica was my favorite band at one point, and then it turned into Nightwish. Was my favorite band at the other point. And albums basically 3 through 7 are the albums that I really like. And Dark Passion Play is the 6th album and the first album that they made without Tarja Turunen as the lead vocalist. She left the band and they got Annette Olsen, a very different type of sound vocalist, but she does a fine job. Still, I mean, not as good as Annette, not as good as Taria. I still love, Taria's still my favorite, but she does a fine job, and the songwriting um, for the album is, I think, the most consistent for a Nightwish album. As much as I, love the tracks and on Century Child and Once, there's always some tracks on there that I'm never listening to. But with Dark Passion Play, there's not a single track on there that I don't want to revisit at some point, or a track that makes me be like, oh no, I'm skipping over this one if once I put it in. Um, I think it is their overall best album. It doesn't quite have the opening track of The Poet and the Pendulum it's up there, definitely. Sometimes I wonder, do I prefer The Poet and the Pendulum, or do I prefer Ghost Love Score? Ghost Love Score being the big song in and my favorite song from the album Once, track number 9. By the way, Ghost Love Score is 10 minutes long. Dark Passion, Poet and the Pendulum is almost 14 minutes. So it's these kind of epic songs, at least lengthwise, and they're both really, really good. But with Once, there are songs on there I never listened to, but with like I said, Dark Passion Play, it's all good. It's there are some songs that are just okay, but there are no songs that are not good. Yeah, you have Bye Bye Beautiful, Eva, For the Heart I Once Had, Last of the Wilds, which is an instrumental, The Islander, which is actually sung by Marco instead of Annette, the 7 Days to the Wolves, and ending with the wonderful Meadows of Heaven. So, yeah, I think that was about it for the albums I wanted to talk about. There was one more, but it's kind of a cheat because it's a collection of different groups, different artists, because it's a movie soundtrack, and that is the Rocky IV soundtrack. We had it on cassette tape when I was a kid. I used to listen to it all the time, and revisiting it, like last year or whatever, a year, last year was just a month ago, but revisiting it like a year ago or so, I found that, this stuff still holds up. I don't know if it's just nostalgia that is making me think that it's all good, or whether it actually is all good. But I still like the entire album of the soundtrack for Rocky IV. Yeah, so that's it. Messy, but I just wanted to randomly talk about it. Thanks for listening. Bye.